The world had barely begun to heal from the wounds of World War I when the seeds of another global conflict were sown. The Treaty of Versailles, intended to ensure peace, instead fostered resentment and instability. Germany, burdened by crippling reparations and territorial losses, became fertile ground for extremist ideologies. In the heart of this turmoil rose a charismatic leader, Adolf Hitler, who channeled the nation's frustrations into a potent mix of nationalism and hatred. Hitler's Nazi Party, with its promises of restoring German glory, found a receptive audience among a disillusioned populace. Across Europe, other nations grappled with their own challenges. The Soviet Union, under Stalin's iron grip, pursued rapid industrialization at a terrible human cost. In Italy, Benito Mussolini's fascist regime glorified militarism and territorial expansion. Fueled by aggressive ambitions and a failure of diplomacy, these simmering tensions would soon erupt into the most devastating conflict the world had ever seen. Hitler's rise to power in 1933 marked a turning point towards war. He openly defied the Treaty of Versailles. Germany began to rearm, rapidly expanding its military might. Hitler's ambitions extended beyond restoring German borders. He sought to conquer vast territories in the east, driven by a twisted ideology of racial superiority. In 1938, Hitler annexed Austria in the Anschluss, a bloodless takeover. The world watched with growing apprehension. Appeasement, a policy of making concessions to Hitler in hopes of avoiding war, only emboldened the dictator. The Munich Agreement, signed in September 1938, ceded the Sudetenland region of Czechoslovakia to Germany. This act of appeasement, meant to satisfy Hitler's territorial demands, proved futile. On September 1, 1939, German forces stormed into Poland. This act of aggression shattered the fragile peace that had held Europe captive. Great Britain and France, bound by treaties to defend Poland, declared war on Germany 2 days later. World War II had begun. The German Blitzkrieg, or Lightning War, unleashed a devastating combination of tanks, aircraft, and infantry. Poland, overwhelmed by the speed and ferocity of the assault, fell within weeks. The Soviet Union, having signed a non-aggression pact with Germany, seized eastern Poland, further dividing the beleaguered nation. In the early months of the war, a sense of eerie calm settled over Western Europe, known as the Phony War. However, this period of relative inaction was deceptive. Behind the lines, both sides prepared for the inevitable escalation of the conflict. In June 1941, Hitler broke the non-aggression pact and unleashed the full fury of the German war machine upon the Soviet Union. Operation Barbarossa, the largest military invasion in history, aimed to conquer the vast Soviet territories and crush the communist regime. The German army, initially successful, was drawn into a brutal war of attrition. The vast distances, harsh climate, and fierce resistance of the Soviet people took a heavy toll on the invaders. The Battle of Stalingrad, a grueling 6-month siege, became a turning point in the war. Soviet forces, bolstered by their unyielding determination and aided by the harsh Russian winter, inflicted a crushing defeat on the German army. The Battle of Stalingrad marked the beginning of the end for Hitler's ambitions in the East. Section 5, Turning the Tide, from North Africa to Normandy. While the Eastern Front raged, the war expanded to other theaters. In North Africa, British and Commonwealth forces battled Rommel's Afrika Korps for control of the Suez Canal. The tide turned in 1942 with the British victory at El Alamein. Meanwhile, the United States, drawn into the conflict by the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor, poured its industrial might and military resources into the war effort. American troops, alongside their British and Canadian allies, landed in Normandy, France on June 6, 1944. D-Day, as it became known, was a pivotal moment in the war. It marked the beginning of the liberation of Western Europe from Nazi domination. The Allied forces fought their way through France and into Germany, facing fierce resistance every step of the way. Section 6, the Pacific Theater, Island Hopping, and Atomic Fury. In the Pacific, the war took on a different character. Japan, driven by imperial ambitions, aimed to establish dominance over vast areas of Asia and the Pacific. The Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor in 1941 brought the United States into the war. The Pacific War was characterized by brutal island-hopping campaigns. American forces, aided by Australian and New Zealand allies, fought their way across the Pacific, island by island. Battles like Iwo Jima and Okinawa were marked by intense fighting and heavy casualties on both sides. In a desperate attempt to force Japan's surrender, the United States dropped atomic bombs on the cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki in August 1945. The devastation caused by these bombs, coupled with the Soviet declaration of war against Japan, finally brought the Pacific War to an end. Section 7. Technological Advancements Reshaping Warfare. World War II witnessed an unprecedented acceleration of technological innovation. Radar, developed before the war, played a crucial role in detecting enemy aircraft and ships, transforming air and naval warfare. The development of penicillin, the first antibiotic, saved countless lives on the battlefield and revolutionized medicine. Tanks, first used in World War I, became faster, more powerful, and played a decisive role in ground combat. The war also saw the development of jet aircraft and the terrifying power of the atomic bomb. These technological advancements not only shaped the course of the war, but also had a profound impact on the post-war world. Section 8. The Home Front Sacrifice and Resilience. The impact of World War II extended far beyond the battlefields. On the home front, civilians endured hardship and made immense sacrifices to support the war effort. Rationing became commonplace, limiting access to essential goods like food, clothing, and fuel. Women played a vital role, taking on jobs traditionally held by men in factories, shipyards, and offices. Propaganda posters urged citizens to support the troops, conserve resources, and maintain morale. The war effort unified nations, fostering a sense of shared purpose and national identity. Section 9. The Holocaust, a stain on humanity. Amidst the horrors of World War II, the Nazi regime carried out the systematic genocide of 6 million Jews, along with millions of other innocent victims. The Holocaust stands as a stark reminder of the consequences of unchecked hatred and intolerance. Driven by a twisted ideology of racial purity, the Nazis established concentration camps and extermination camps across Europe. Jews, along with Roma, LGBTQ individuals, political prisoners, and others deemed undesirable, were subjected to unimaginable cruelty and mass murder. The horrors of the Holocaust serve as a chilling testament to the depths of human depravity and a solemn reminder of the importance of vigilance, compassion, and the defense of human rights. Section 10. Victory and its Aftermath. A New World Order. After 6 long years of global conflict, World War II finally ended in 1945. The Allied victory came at a staggering cost, with millions dead and entire countries in ruins. The war had reshaped the political landscape of the world. The United States and the Soviet Union emerged as the world's two superpowers, their rivalry shaping the decades that followed. The United Nations was formed in 1945 with the goal of preventing future wars and promoting international cooperation. The war also had a profound impact on the development of international law, human rights, and the global economy. The world, forever marked by the horrors of the conflict, began the long and arduous process of rebuilding. Section 11. Conclusion. Legacy of Innovation and Devastation. World War II was a conflict of unprecedented scale and devastation. It was a clash of ideologies, a battle for global dominance, and a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. The war left an indelible mark on the world, shaping the geopolitical landscape, accelerating technological advancements, and leaving behind a legacy of both innovation and destruction. The lessons learned from World War II continue to resonate today. The importance of international cooperation, the fragility of peace, and the dangers of unchecked extremism remain as relevant as ever. As we remember the sacrifices of those who fought and died in this epic conflict, let us strive to build a world where such horrors are never repeated.